well and that your loved ones are safe wherever they may be at. With this shutdown that we are experiencing all over the place, many businesses are closed at a very early hour. On the West Coast, it's 10 o'clock. So therefore, businesses are closing at around 10. Right now, it's about 6:27. I should have been on about 30 minutes ago. I had some things to take care of. But tonight, we're going to talk about the real word of a master mason. And I say that only because the word that you received when you was raised from a dead level to an imperpendicular, that word that you received during that process is incorrect. What if I told you that King Solomon never had the word of a master mason, or the real word? Many of us, within the legend of Hiram Abiff, there was a word that was given. Believe that is the real word. That word is an incorrupt Hebrew word. Go back and look it up and see what it means. It's a very interesting word. I like the meaning of the word. But go back and see what it means. It's an incorrupt Hebrew word. I'm not going to give you the meaning. If you're a master mason and you've been raised, go back and look and see what that word means, and then you have a better understanding of the word. But tonight, we're going to talk about the real word of a master mason, the mere fact that King Solomon never had that word. Never had it. Never had it. It was never given to him. And you're probably saying, how did you even come up with that? Well, for those of you who has gone through the process, go back, revisit your process. Even I long believed that was weird. But when you go back and reread something, you always find something. And to me, I found this. I found that was incorrect. King Solomon never had the word. He never had it. You can say what you want to say. Go back, read it for yourself, and you would know that he never ever had the word. Now, greetings. What's up, Terrell? What's going on with you, bro? I appreciate you coming on. Tonight, the title of the show, we're talking about the real word of a master mason, and I'm letting you know that word that you receive as a master mason is an incorrupt. It's an incorrupt Hebrew word. That word is not the real word, as you already probably know, and I'm telling you now, King Solomon never had the real word. He never had it. I can prove to you that he never had it. I can also tell you that when you become a Royal Arch Mason, that word, that the real word is supposed to be found in the Royal Arch degree. You know, if you're a Royal Arch Mason, you should know exactly what I'm talking about. But I would tell you this, that's incomplete also. It's incomplete. And I'm only sharing with you what I've come across. And this is not something that I've known a long time. This is something I was reading. I was going back over the ritual of the Master Mason degree work. And I was like, wow, he never had the password or the real word of a Master Mason. King Solomon never had it. So that was an aha moment for me right there. So go back, you Master Mason, go back and check it out. I'm going to wait till other people come in. We're going to get really into the subject piece. What's up, New Black World? Glad to have you aboard. What's up, Milton? I appreciate it. Is that Milton or Malton? I'm going to have to go back and check. Drew, what's up, man? Appreciate it. Gibraltar. Did I say that? Yeah. Lodge 406 AF and AM, Baytown, Texas. How you doing? Big Coop is in the house. My man, Big Coop, congratulations to you, bruh. on renewing those vows, man, dude, I had to search high and low to find your number again. Welcome back into the house, bro. I appreciate you, man. Hope all is well. Hope you made it home safely. Not for sure if you've gone back yet or not, but I pray that you found things just as they were when you left. So, greetings, greetings. So we're talking about the real word of a master mason, and I'm letting you know tonight that that word once again was King Solomon never knew the real word. He never had it. And oh, you're back in Minnesota? All right then. Woo, chilly, chilly. Yes, indeed. So I would say that King Solomon never had the real word of a master mason. This is why he couldn't give it. Never had it, never received it. If you go back and you read your master mason's ceremonies, you would discover quite a few things that are happening in that particular ceremonies. In regards to the ruffians, in regards to the 12 that came back, in regards to that whole situation that was happening and the excitement that was carrying on during that process, you will discover quite a few things. I'm quite sure you know that Hiram Abiff body, was buried twice, moved once, and those are some unique things as you look at the process for which you were going through in your ceremonies, okay, in your ceremonies. And that is the beauty of masonry. When you are able to go back and take a look at it, and you discover some aha things that are happening, you'd be like, wow, that's different. I didn't see that or catch that, knowing that in this degree work it's supposed to be nothing is higher than a master mason. This is what they say. But as you progress in Freemasonry, it's not that the degrees that you receive after the third degree is higher. Those are called grade degrees or college degrees. Those degrees add to that which you already have. They explain in detail what actually took place in so many types of ways. Like I said, along this journey, you always need to drop some breadcrumbs, because let me tell you, you get into this, man, you in those different doors that you open along those degrees will have your mind with a headache. It would have you like that. So as we get into this subject tonight, and you discover that that King Solomon never had the password of a master mason, that could be shocking to a lot of brothers. It can be shocking to a lot of brothers. And the password that you receive is a Hebrew word which is incorrectly pronounced. It's a corrupt Hebrew word. But when you look at the meaning of the word, it's beautiful. Now it's up to you to open the door and walk in. Once you walk into the door, there is so much that you can explore, but you have to leave breadcrumbs along the way. Because as you divest and begin to integrate yourself into Freemasonry, you will find that the various degrees for which you find yourself studying or being initiated into, it is best that you go back and read the works. And I say that over and over again. But tonight, as we get into this word that was never really given to King Solomon, it's something. It's now the first word that you receive, that first word you receive before you go any further into your Master Mason degree work, we know that that person was a bronzeman. He was a bronzeman. This guy, whom the password is named after, was a bronzeman. Okay, he was able to take and shape metal and steel and iron. Okay. And if you go and look at his lineage and who he was and where he comes from, you would understand why that name was given to you. Why? Okay? But in the process of being raised, another word was given to you, which is it's an incorruptible word. It's not pronounced correctly. that word in its meaning is beautiful, but once you begin to go into it, you'll be like, oh my, really, oh my. Me and the three other Masons, Master Masons, are watching on the big screen in my basement. Well, greetings to the brothers who are watching with Big Coop tonight. Want to send you a big shout. I hope everything is going well with you and yours. Be blessed and stay square, and definitely keep your heads up, and be a free thinker. Think for yourself. Don't have no one thinking for you. Think for yourself. Come up with an answer that's going to be best suited for you as a Freemason. You should call in. Well, the number to call in tonight, let me give you this call in number tonight right here. You can call this number here tonight while I'm live. This number right here, let's see. All right, you can call this number right here tonight while I'm live, and we'll have this conversation in regards to the Master Mason word that was given, which is incorrect word, and we can discuss on why King Solomon never had the word of a Master Mason. Never had it. And then, not only that, Hiram Abiff never died. Something to think about, isn't it? See, in the legend that you read, he got killed, but he never died. Hiram Abiff never died. Nope, didn't. So you're probably saying, why would you say that, Hawkins, Brother Muhammad? Why would you say that? Why would you say that King Solomon, the word was not right, and Hiram Abiff never died? Why would you say those things? I say those things because they're true. I say them because that's what I discovered for myself. I reread the initiation process in regards to the Master Mason and was re-experiencing that which I've gone through, and discovered it's told to you it is the substitute word that you received once you was raised. Okay? So it's told to you that it's a substitute word. But however, Hiram Abiff says, I can't give it to you unless it's in the presence of King Solomon, myself, and Hiram Atari. That's what he said. That's what he said during your process. So if he tells you, and he did say that in the process, that he couldn't give it to you unless they was present, leads you to think that they already had it. Right? I would think so. Because seeing King Solomon, according to the legend, summons Hiram Abiff and Hiram Attai, because both of them had something to offer in the building of the kingdom. The building of, not the kingdom, but the building of the temple. They both had something to offer. One had masons that was good with wood and lumber, and the other one had mason that was good with iron and brass and that sort of thing. So both of those kings had something to offer King Solomon in the process of building the temple. Now since we know that, and we know that both of them had something to offer, and to know that King Solomon and Hiram Abiff, to know that King Solomon and Hiram Attai never had the password, but yet they tell you in the process that it can't be given unless they're present. So it leads you to think once again that they had it. But they didn't. So the question remains, what is the real word? What is it? Now it says that you're supposed to receive this word in the Royal Ark degree, because once upon a time, for those of us who do know, the Master Mason degree did not conclude until the end of the Royal Ark degree. When the ancients and the modern came together, it was an agreement that the Royal Arch degree was separated from the Master Mason degree. That was an agreed upon thing. So the ancients and the modern decided to say, okay, you know what? When we come together and join forces, you're going to keep the Royal Arch degree, but it's going to be on the York-Rite side, and we would only use the first 3 degrees of what they call craft masonry. And then the York-Rite, which is more so a Christian rite in my perspective, then you receive that which is lost, and you find that, you know where you find that at. I'm not going to tell you where you find it at. If you've gone through the Royal Arch degree, you know where you find it at. And it takes 3 of you. It takes 3 to find it, or in go in the process of finding it, okay? Over the rough roads, down in the cavern. There's a lot of places you got to go to find that thing. But once you find it, you bring it up, and you discover a word upon it that was made by the man out of the 3rd degree. You know his name. He made that. They buried it. They find it in the Royal Arch degree, and you know that it's an impronounceable word. The word that they find is impronounceable. Oh, you thought it was Yahweh? Is that what you were saying? You thought that word was Yahweh, Jehovah. Oh, aren't you surprised that it's not? It's impronounceable. Yeah. Because if you are on the Scottish Rite side, you will know that the Scottish Rite degree have a Royal Arch degree also. It's the 13th degree, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, you know that, right? Somebody need to call in and have this conversation with me tonight. I literally, you need to call on in. Greetings, everybody who's coming in. Shout out to everybody. Shakalaka boom boom, baby. You know what I mean. Their Imperial Potentate, Brother Smith. You know. What's up? How you doing, Brother Larry Diamond? I appreciate you. Yeah, that's the call-in number for the night. I appreciate you. Good evening, everyone, including the Sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. How you doing tonight? Everybody that's coming on, we're talking about the real word of a Master Mason. We're saying, and I'm telling you, that the word that was given is the incorrect word. It's a Hebrew word, which is mispronounced, but it's a beautiful word once you know the meaning of it. Then you open the door, you walk right in, and then everything else blows up in your face, because now you got to drop some breadcrumbs along the way. You have a choice to either go York Rite or Scottish Rite. In some degrees, some brothers go both. They do both rites. In other degrees, they just go York Rite or Scottish Rite. But we usually tell the brothers, hey, you know, there's nothing higher than the Master Mason. Now, it was broken down to me like this here. Those degrees, which are the appending degrees, college degrees, some like to call them, those are called grade degrees. See, your first 3 degrees are those degrees that lay the foundation, graded. They make everything even. They're that degree. Okay. Then as you proceed, what you find is like layers. So you know how they you ever seen them work on a road? And they take and they just scrub it all the way down. Take the road, just chop it up, scrub it all the way down. Boom. They got that's the foundation. The Inner Apprentice Fellowcraft Master Mason. That is the foundation. That is the road. Period. Everything on top of that is graded. Everything on top of that is graded. And that's what the appending bodies are. The process is those degrees that are graded on top of that are good to know. This is why I can understand, for the most part, brothers who in some jurisdiction, they go from a Master Mason and then they can go to a Shriner without even understanding how the Knights Templar and Shriners work together. That's true. But tonight, as we discuss the real word, in finding and learning that, hey, something ain't quite right here, go back and read it. It makes you rethink that whole thing. How could someone tell you that they can't give it unless it's in the presence of Hiram of Tyre and King Solomon and himself. That makes you think, once again, as I said before, that they have it, and they didn't have it. So therefore, we're walking around like, yeah, what's that? You give that first one, and then they want to hug on it, do the 5 thing, and then once you get the 5 thing, you whisper in a low breath, blah blah blah, like you got something. It's good. I mean, because that's what's been given to us. But once you crack the code and go deeper, you find that is not correct. And then you learn that the word that is really given can't be pronounced. You can't pronounce it. Now ask me how I know, and I'll tell you so. You can't pronounce it. Good evening, brothers. What's up, John? How you doing? Calvary, West. What's that? Missed that. Let's see. John. I got to catch up with some of this on the side over here. See what you guys got going on. What's up, Martin? How you doing? Reginald, how you holding up? Greetings to all. Appreciate you. What's up, Cabin W? All right, Partha Lodge, 717 out of Indianapolis. All right, greetings. So tonight we're talking about the real word, and what became of it, and how is it that we're given something, and they tell us it's a substitute word. I'm telling you that even though we know that it's a substitute word, that word is going to be forever lost, so we think. Because that word, that is a substitute word that you're supposed to find in the Royal Arch degree. You got 2 Royal Arches. One is on the York Rite side and one is on the Scottish Rite side. If you go to the Scottish Rite side, you're going to find something different. That's going to be your aha moment. You're going to find something different. Long time. What's up, Ishmael Jackson? How you doing? Yeah, it's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, you're going to have an aha moment. Because the word that is supposed to be found you can't pronounce it. You can't. Some of us know it already. We've said it before. But when I say it can't be pronounced, it's not like you can't say the word. But the word is what I want to say? Revered. The word is revered. So it's not really talked about a lot once you discover it. It's true. That's the beauty of Masonry. I like that. I really like that. I would tell you this. Let me see if I can find it here. I'll tell you this here. The Scottish Rite degrees as we know them, and if you go into the primitive Rite degrees, those degrees which go up to the 96th degree is going to be a little bit different than your Scottish Rite degrees, because like on the 4th degree of the Secret Master, okay, for the primitive rites, that degree teaches truth and consequences, the existence of one God, and the relationship that exists in between man and his heavenly Father. But on the Scottish Rite side, for the Secret Master, it doesn't necessarily say that. It says that in the primitive Rite degree work. This is the beauty of Masonry. The more you read, the more you search in the different degree works that you come across, and you try to cross-reference things, it like blows you away. It really does. It really, really does. Okay, so let's go check that out. So in the 4th degree, the Secret Master, under the primitive rites, it says it teaches the truth, consequences, and the existence of one God, in the relationship existing between man and his heavenly Father. That's what it says in the Secret Master degree under the primitive rites. But let's see what it says in regards to the Scottish Rite degree, right? Let's see what it says. I'm going to go over here and see. Boom, boom, boom. Now, under the Scottish Rite degree work, we're going to take a look at that fourth degree. It says, here's the introduction to the Scottish Rite Masonry. This degree provides us with a preview of more truth we shall witness on our journey through the Scottish Rite. That's what it teaches. So what I've learned is that the primitive rite side of Scottish Rite and the Scottish Rite with the Lodge of Perfection, starting with the Master Traveler. See, on the Scottish Rite degree work for which most of us work on, I say European Scottish Rite, they have what they call the Master Traveler, right? But under the other degree work, which is the primitive rites, there's a new name for it. That name is going to be called, hold on, let me get back over here to it. That name is called the Secret Master. Secret Master. So I've been trying to cross-reference the primitive rite, Scottish Rite, ancient primitive rites versus ancient Scottish Rite. Those degrees, what is the difference and what is their teachings? And in the process, as you leave your first 3 degrees, that porch, as you leave there, and you open that door, Brother Larry Diamond, am I lying? Where you at? You on here tonight, Brother Larry Diamond. I saw your name in here. So where you at? Talk back to me. Talk to me, Brother Larry Diamond. Am I lying? It's just everything flips. Everything flips. Kenneth Lindsay, how you doing there? I appreciate you. Greetings to everybody who's just coming on. We're actually talking about the real word of a master mason. The mere fact that we know that King Solomon did not have the word, because he did say that this is a substitute word. So it lets me know that Hiram Abiff was lying, that he did not have the word. Or no, it's not that he didn't have it. He said he couldn't give it unless it was in the presence of Hiram of Tyre and King Solomon himself. That's the only way he could give it, is with those 3. So it leads you to believe that when you get to the Royal Ark degree, you receive that word under, what they call that? 3 times 3 under the ark. Under the ark. You receive that under the ark, okay? And as you know, in the York Rite degree, you're supposed to find that word lost within a cavern or a cave, okay? As you have journeyed across the rough, rugged roads to find it, So greetings to everybody who's coming on. Fraternal greetings. I appreciate that. What's going on? Yeah, so tonight, if you want to call into the show, the number 619-286-0642. You're welcome to call in, and we can have this conversation in regards to that real word being found, being lost. Is that word true that was given? We know that it was a substitute word, but why give a substitute word when Hiram Abiff himself said that he can only give it in the presence of Hiram of Tyre and King Solomon. So tonight we're talking about the real word that was lost, later found, but yet can be pronounced. Boom. That's it in a nutshell. But I got another one for you. What if I told you that King Solomon ordered the hit on Hiram Abiff? What? Oh man, that's not too far-fetched. What if I told you that King Solomon had Hiram Abiff set up? Oh, Hawkins, you done lost your mind for real. No, man, look, masonry fascinates me. I like it. I enjoy it. It's a good read, because the more you read, the more you find more stuff. You be like, wait a minute. But then when you break it down and you begin to look at it from different perspectives, like take for instance a European style of Freemasonry versus a British style of Freemasonry versus a French style of Freemasonry versus an African, depends on what country, style of Freemasonry versus a Mexican or Hispanic style of Freemasonry. Man, it blows me away because of the different styles within Freemasonry. I mean, it's you have the foundational structure that's there that most of us use, but it just blows me away of wherever you go. It's amazing. It's just amazing. You can say what you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I get a kick out of it because it's funny as heck, for real. Brothers in South America don't grip you like brothers in America. That's the truth. They don't. If you come across a brother who's a master mason from South America, he's not going to grip you like the American mason will usually grip you. He's not. That's the truth. That is the truth. Yeah, for real. I'm just saying because, look, hold on a minute. Hold on just a second. Just a second. Let me make this call real quick. Because, yeah, we're going to have this conversation. I'm telling you that King Solomon had Hammerbith set up. Yeah, I said that. I don't know if this brother be an answer the phone or not, but we're going to see. Oh, he's probably busy. Oh, he's going to have to call me back. But I'm telling you, go back and reread that whole story. Hey, bro.
What's happening?
Hey. Okay, so I'm live tonight, and I'm talking about a couple of things. The first thing I'm talking about is that King Solomon did not have the real word. We can all agree with that. He had a substitute word. The next thing...
That's what he gave was a substitute word. The first word came in mind.
Okay. And then, not only that, we're talking about the mere fact that Hammerbith, that King Solomon had Hammerbith set up.
Yeah.
Huh? Is that far-fetched?
No, it's not far-fetched.
I'm just saying, I was telling the brothers, I'm like, look, King Solomon had Hammerbith set up. Would you like to break that down to him?
Look, what they gotta do is Google the old legends of Hiram Abiff. And it'll come up, and there's like multiple different stories that'll come up in there, you know. And any other brothers, is anybody familiar with the story of King Vellum?
King Vellum? I don't know.
King Vellum.
Okay.
King Vellum.
K Vellum.
Cavellum. King Vellum.
All right.
King Vellum was an inspector of the work.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was he was doing something. He was inspecting the wall, and one of the bricks in the wall had launched itself loose, and it fell and it struck him in the head and it killed him. And that was the reason why they said the north gate was sealed, because Hiram was so ashamed of that the way that the work was done, and it caused one of the workmen to be killed. So they sealed the because of he perceived Hiram as crossed him with Queen Sheba, with the Queen of Sheba.
Yes, it has to boil down to a woman, huh?
Well, you gotta look at it, man. If you follow the stories and the legends, David, his father did some sound shit too. You know what I mean? David, he wanted all the women. You know what I mean? So what did he do? His main man, he wanted his main man's woman so bad, he sent them off to war so he could have his woman.
He did.
Father, like son. We all know Solomon had a bunch of concubines. You know what I mean? So there we go, dealing with the thing with the woman again.
Right. So
I mean, if you think about it, it's not way out the window if there are those who subscribe to the Christian ideology, because that all takes you right on back, all the way back to what Eve did, because it was Eve who ate the fruit before Adam did, right?
yeah.
So she took him and he did with it. So later on, then, as we follow the biblical stories, we find in most of those stories that always revolve around a woman, even when we get down to Samson and Delilah.
Right, but check this out. So one Brother Terrell said, why would he do that if he had to go through him to get the password? Why would he have him set up?
Remember, it was they had between Hiram Abiff, King Hiram Abiff, and Solomon, they had syllables. They could only say the word when they was together.
Just like in the Royal degree. Go ahead.
Yeah, they said the word together. They had syllables, and if I'm not mistaken, only one knew the whole word.
Is that?
What I mean? It was only that one that knew the whole word, but each of them had syllables or part of the word to make up the word itself.
So is that why? Go ahead.
If he doesn't understand it, I mean, it's like I said, it's a legend. You know what I mean? It's just a legend, just like any other stories that we hear in the class. A lot of these things we really can't validate them, because some of these things, they're allegories, and we know what an allegory is. An allegory is just a story within a story, because they are not.
Correct. That is true. I lost you. I lost you there.
Let's just say, for example, let's use as an example. When the disciples were speaking with Brother Jesus, there were certain things that they asked him and certain questions that they asked of him, and he gave them certain answers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the answers that he gave them to anybody else that was outside of that circle, they wouldn't understand what he was talking about. To them, it was just a parable. You know what I mean? It was just a riddle to them. They didn't know what he was talking about. But those that were in his circle, they knew exactly what he meant when he said it. Because they knew how to decipher what he was talking about. As with us. As with us, with the brothers. With the brothers. We have a language that we can speak amongst each other that we understand, but nobody that's not from the craft, they won't understand it. We can carry conversations right around them, and they will not understand it. Case in point, catechism. You know what I mean? All of us don't use that, but certain ones that do use it. If I ask you, have you seen my little dog with a red chain around his neck? The other, to other folk, what in the world are they talking about? But about what we're doing, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And the next brother know what I'm talking about. But they have to understand and know what the catechism is. And if they don't understand and know what the catechism is, then they wouldn't even know what we were talking about. So it goes back to these same parables, and these same legends. There's something inside of the legends, or something inside of these legends and old parables that conveys a whole totally different meaning, a whole totally different story. sometimes it's not even associated with the story that's being told.
Mm-hmm.
But once you have an understanding of how to dig into it, that's why we cannot just be surface masons. We gotta dig, man.
And that's why they call you a mason, because you dig. You, after, like I was saying, even just a few minutes ago before I called you up, I was saying that even with the primitive rites, Scottish, the what we call the ancient primitive rites versus the ancient Scottish rite. And as I was digging and looking at these degrees and cross references, totally two different things that are happening in these degrees. Even though most people would say, well, you know what, those degrees don't mean a lot. They mean a hell of a lot if you are able to break them down and really digest them for what they are.
Well, what you do is, this is what you do. I will suggest to any brother, even if you don't consider me as a brother, listen to this and think about it. Go into your writ and go into the degrees and into the lessons that are taught into the degrees. But more importantly, go into the history of the degree itself. Line them all up, and because it tells a complete story. But
Yep.
the way that it's structured now,
Mm-hmm.
we know that those stories are out of place. They're not in chronological order. So once you put these stories in a chronological order, you begin to understand the whole story and our bits and pieces of the story.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So esoteric is different from exoteric.
Right.
Some of us just listen to the stories and take the stories as they are.
Uh-huh.
But then when you start using common sense, which is not so common these days, when you start using common sense and applying these stories and listening to them and begin to decipher them, you break them down, you find out this couldn't have happened at this time because the timing is not right.
Right.
This couldn't happen at this time because the timing wasn't right. But when you put those two stories together, you begin to say, oh, now I see what happened. This came before this and that came before that.
Right.
So even the structure of the degrees and breaking the degrees down and understanding the order that these degrees go in will easily help you to decipher these stories. Like, let me ask a question real quick. And in a certain degree, it says that the fellow, I'll just say it. As a fellow craft, right?
Uh-huh.
After you complete the degree and you go to raise to your next degree.
Mm-hmm.
So what came first? Did the Mark Master's degree come before the Master Mason's degree?
Ooh.
Because it says that they had to place their mark in the book of marks, and there's a difference in pay from the fellow craft to the master. The Master Mason was a difference in pay. So if they placed a mark within the book of marks, so the paymaster would know how to pay them according to their scale.
Mm-hmm.
So if your mark wasn't in that book of marks, then they wouldn't know that that's not the master's pay. So as the mark goes into the book of marks, wouldn't that have to be before the Master Mason's degree in order for them to know how to pay you accordingly by your wages?
By your wages. Because you had to have your own mark.
Absolutely. And you know what? The wild thing about that is that if anybody out there now that's listening and they're contractors or they are masons, they're speculative masons, they're actually operative, they're actually operative masons.
Mm.
They still do that to this day. When they build lay bricks, they usually leave a mark in that foundation.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that foundation they leave that mark.
They do.
And even now, contractors, when we're dealing with a contractor or the word contract in itself, that goes back to the olden days of when they was free to travel, or the builders were free to travel. They weren't bonded to a specific job site. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Once they finished that job site, their contract was up. So now they were able to travel for more work.
Yep. And that's the thing. See, I'm gonna flip that back. I'm gonna take this back from that point of view and take a look at this from this perspective. When you say that you're going to receive master's wages, most people don't know. Most master masons don't know what are the master's wages. They'll tell you what a fellowcraft wage is. They'll tell you about about those wages. But when you talk about, okay, so what's the wages of a master mason?
That's just not something that it's a feeling. It's an intangible. Like when you have a charitable heart, you do things for the right reason.
You're fading out there, bro.
Huh?
Oh, you was fading out. So what?
So it's just like you're doing things from a charity work, or you being charitable and you're doing it for the right reasons, and it's coming directly from your heart. It's a feeling that you get, and it can't be replaced. It's a feeling that you get.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Your master's wages really comes and not in this life. You know what I mean? Those are the things that we all seek to hear those words. If you believe such, when we reach those pearly gates, you know what I mean? You'll hear, "Job well done, my son. You may enter, you may pass."
I'm going to look at it from another point of view. You said that the master's wages, how did you say it? You said something in regards to you don't receive the master wages, or the master.
Your true master's wage is not paid in gold, silver. A true master's wage is not paid in gold. It's not paid in silver. It's not paid in any form of currency, because those things are non-existent in the spiritual realm. Remember, we're dealing with the spirit of man. We're dealing with your spiritual edifice.
Okay.
So if we're looking at certain things from a physical sense, from a physical standpoint, yeah, the master still receives his wages. It's just like we talk about corn, wine, and oil. We talk about corn, wine, and oil, but nobody never mentions the salt.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
You follow what I'm saying?
I got you.
There's certain things.
I got you.
There's certain things that we don't. A lot of us aren't taught. A lot of us aren't taught certain things certain ways. But if you were a traveler at that time, and you travel from place to place, you know what I mean, for work, it'd be foolish of us to believe that they didn't travel, they didn't carry meats and things like that, because meats were things that they did. What they do, they would pack the meat in salt.
Right.
To take all the moisture out of the meat, and it'd be like a jerky.
Yep.
You know, it would be sort of like a jerky.
Beef turkey.
So yes, they used that. It wasn't no ice back then.
Mm-hmm. Somebody just said that we know that this. Let me see. I got to go up here just a second. Somebody just said, "This is funny. Me and my senior warden go back and forth on this all the time. My senior warden blames Zerubbabel for the Lodge of Affection. My thing was who would benefit. Great topic. Thanks. All right. Appreciate it." Then somebody posted, hold on a second. I think this was interesting. I got to pull this down a little bit. But we know who the supreme architect is. He is the architect. Now, I'm gonna comment on that real quick. The older I get, the more my mind changes about the stuff I find in my life. So I don't necessarily look at the grand architect as a he factor anymore. I don't. To each his own, but I don't see the grand architect as a he anymore. Period.
How can you if you have an understanding of the human anatomy? I ain't never But anyway, that's another story. You know, that's another story that, you know, to be told.
Right.
And then it goes into another place.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, here we go back to these three ruffians that we were speaking about, that I was alluding to earlier.
Right.
Or assassins, as I call them.
Uh-huh.
The three assassins.
Mm.
Why is it? Why is it? But think about it. It might sound funny to some, but think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We are told in our Master Mason's degree about these three ruffians, right?
Mm-hmm.
The names that we are given of these three ruffians, right?
Right.
So why later on, down the line, somewhere down the line, you're told a story about these same three people, but their names done changed.
A, jealousy, envy, and superstitious.
Well, I could say, you could say anything. You could say ego of man, pride, lust.
Yeah.
It could be any of those things that affect you from a lower nature, so to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, of course, if you're looking at it in that sense and you understanding it, the ruffians is alive and kicking because we face at least one of them every day, if not all three of them.
Hey, this is why I often talk about when people go into the Scottish Rite side of Freemasonry, and especially when they get to the Sublime Prince, 32nd degree. This is what that's, to me, that's that cream on top of my cake. Even though I know that it took.
You know what? I got another question to ask the listeners. They're Masons.
For the most part.
Some 33rd, some of them, you know, whatever. And those that have reached the 32nd degree.
Mm-hmm.
The degree is the Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret.
Just like the Sublime Master Mason. Go ahead.
You know, Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Royal Secret?
What's the Royal Secrets?
They're supposed to be. What shouldn't you know? Shouldn't you know what that secret is if you're a prince of that secret or a keeper of that secret?
You should.
How many of them know the answer? What's the secret? What's the Royal Secret?
I don't know how many would know the answer. I mean, because when you break down and go through that degree work, and it tells you, and it asks you the question, how long did it take for you to become a 32nd? And when it breaks down, what are you fighting against, and what is the aim of Freemasonry? When they can't answer that, then, you know, some just may have a problem because they don't know. Oh, I lost him. He'll probably call back. Oh, yeah, I lost him. You know, so tonight, that was Brother Debo Tiller on the line. He's probably had something to do, and I lost his signal, but he'll probably call back in. So tonight, we're talking about the real word of a Master Mason, and we're really trying to just really thumb it down to the process of knowing that this thing we call Masonry, you're going to always have to dig. You're always going to have to go deeper because when you and drop some breadcrumbs along the way, because to those who are new to this and really want to enjoy the craft, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. If you're going to enjoy Masonry, you got to be able to break this thing down. You got to be able to travel and see Masonry in its many forms. Because being here in America and only dealing with a European style form of Masonry, you're not going to, this is all you ever see. But if you're going to leave and go somewhere else and see something different in regards to Freemasonry, man, it's going to blow you away. It's going to do you in such a way that when you come back, you're not going to just to accept. You're not just going to accept what you see and hear on this side of the waters. That is true. What's up, bro? How you doing? You over there laughing at me? What's going on? Oh, you laughing at Brother Lewis? What Brother Lewis talking about? Hey, I didn't get a package, bruh. So if you send it, you're gonna have to probably take a look and see where that package went because I didn't get it. Brother Lewis, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Tonight's show we're talking about the real word, and I got a couple of brothers on here that can really probably drop it down, but they ain't gonna call in, so I'm gonna keep on keeping on tonight. So we've been on here now for about maybe little less than an hour. We got about 5 minutes to go into the show tonight. But as always, definitely 2860642. Yep, that's the number you want to call in tonight. If you want to have this conversation, you're certainly welcome to call in. We can definitely have a conversation. But so I had Brother Debo Tell on the line, and he got cut off. And I'm hoping that he'll be able to give a call back before I log off tonight. But definitely, it has been fun talking with him and definitely looking at the real word of a master mason, knowing that it is a substitute word. And the funny thing is that when I reread the story and it tells you that the only way you can receive it is that it was in the presence of Haramabeth, Haramatai, and King Solomon. That was the only way it would be able to be given. Brother was breaking down the fact that they was given in syllables. And if all three was there, they knew the word, but each one had their own syllable to pronounce. So when you go into the Royal Arch degree, you will find that it will be given under a living arc. Okay? Then you know that you have to go down and pick that and come up out of the cave or whatever, some call it a cave. You have to go down, find it, bring it back up, and have an understanding of what you found on that sheet of steel. Okay, on that sheet of steel. And I will tell you, if you look at it from a Scottish Rite point of view, the Lodge of Affection on the Scottish Rite point of view is something very similar, but yet different because the word can't be pronounced. You can't pronounce it. You can't. This is what the word would be. This is the word right here. There you go. I just posted it. So that is what you're going to find. That is what you're going to find. N-I-N-R. And the reason I put that there, the I-N-R, is because that is what was on the head of the Christ man. Some say they put the King of the Jews up there, but this is what was actually stamped on top. I could have. Let me see. Was it I-N-R or N-I-R? Now I'm going to have to go back and double check, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the I-N-R. Oh, okay, thanks. Oh, Debo, okay, there you go. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. There you go. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Wait a minute, real man. I don't know about that I-N-R-E part. I don't know about that one. But anyway. So look, I hope that everybody's gotten some out of this tonight. I just want you to go back, reread it, and think about it. I mean, that gets me pumped. And this is the beauty of Freemason, when you can go and reread the story, the very thing that you've gone through, and you go back and read it, and you have these aha moments that makes you think about the process for what you've gone through to get these various degrees, and you be like, God diggity doggone. Oh, before I go tonight, I want to say thank you to Brother Lewis, Brandon Lewis. I had a brother that came through Tennessee, and he was able to get that brother a shout out, and they had a great conversation piece, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate that. And to me, that's what the brotherhood is really all about. When you are going across country and you're able to send someone a big shout out and get in contact with brothers who are traveling thereabouts. So I want to say thank you. I really appreciate you doing that for me. If I forgot anybody tonight, I want to say, hey, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Also, you can follow me on Instagram. One brother said, Hawkins, you should brother, you should get Instagram. I was like, well, I have it, but I don't really use it. He said, no, you got to get Instagram. So I'm on Instagram now. So you can find me on Instagram. It'll be Tony Hawkins underscore 2018. Nope. Yep, 2018 underscore 2018. What was 2020? Yeah, underscore 2018. That year 2018 was very important to me. So definitely do that. I appreciate that. He said, this is funny. My senior warden, they was going back and forth, huh? Oh, when is the next show? Oh man, what's the day? The next show will be Tuesday. The day is Tuesday. Okay, so look, the next show, oh man. If anybody know me, I don't want to tell you when the next show they're going to be on because usually it doesn't happen that way. It really doesn't. I apologize. I just sent out a notice. If you subscribe to the channel, and I hope you do, hit the bell when I come on. It's definitely gonna ring you and ding you. And also, if you follow me on Instagram, I make the notice a day or so ahead of time. But for me to just give you a schedule, man, my schedule is crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have things I was supposed to be mailing people for a past year. I got a brother on here now. I owe him a book that the book is done. I just haven't printed it out. He's been asking for it for about a year. He knows exactly who I'm talking about without calling any name. He's like, brother, where's my book at, bro? You promised me the damn book for a whole year. Oh my goodness, So yeah, definitely. I got some things on my trestle board I need to clear out. So I want to say, Brother Debo, thank you. I appreciate you for calling in. Greetings, brothers and sisters of the craft. Dear Gene, I'm sorry. You missed it. I'm sorry. You're going to have to go back and catch this one. You're going to have to go back and catch it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm about to close out. I'm just giving some last minute shout outs to those who are coming on and having a conversation tonight. It was a real good conversation. Lazarus of Nazarene Rex. Really? Okay. All right. We got some good brothers on this show and some great sisters. I mean, you guys can come on and definitely get into this thing. Of Freemasonry and the Order of the Eastern Star. All is good. My phone died on me, and that's where we're going to go with it. So with that being said, I'm going to sign out, and I hope everybody have a great day, and definitely check back in. Whatever you do, keep your light on, stay at the bushes, and the higher you climb, the clearer the vision. The higher you climb, the clearer the vision. I'm out. Peace and be well.